Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Friday Reads, although hopefully this will be going up on Thursday and tomorrow we will be talking about my February TBR. There is a hair on my arm. Today I'm going to be wrapping up my December and January reading. These have been the two worst reading months for me. I did not do a December wrap up because I only finished one book and it was a short middle grade book. And in terms of January, I've only read 2 books. Holidays are crazy in December. Then January, I have my birthday, my oldest son's birthday, and Jeremy, my husband, also just had surgery a week ago, and he has been home and needing help and stuff. And I've also been posting videos almost every single day across both channels, not on one. So if you don't see a video on this channel on a certain day, but you are interested in beauty related videos, I do have another channel, a beauty related channel. I don't know why I'm explaining this so much, and it's linked down below if you are interested in seeing more from me. I'm going to stop rambling and get into the 3 book reviews I have for you, although that isn't a lot. Sorry if you can hear Wyatt waking up. Jeremy is going to get him, not me. So the book that I finished on December 4th, so early December at that, was The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This took me quite a while to get through. This is a middle grade fantasy book, and I believe, was it the group read for Witchathon? Some October readathon, and I didn't get a chance to read it. I put my name on the wait list at my library and it took forever to get to me, so that's why I ended up reading it in November and December. And for me, this had a really rocky start. It took me a long time to even get remotely interested in the story. Now that could definitely be that I don't read middle grade. This is the only middle grade book that I have read in recent years, if you're not counting the first 3 books of Harry Potter. But it did pick up towards the end. So middle grade is a genre that I'm hoping to read a few more of this coming year. It's not going to be my new favorite genre, but just to get a better idea of how to review them, even because when it's a genre or an age group that you're not used to, it's really hard to give a good, fair review. I did end up giving it 4 stars because it was good. So in this story, there is an evil witch who's not actually evil, that this town gives a sacrifice to every year. It has to be the youngest baby in the village. So the newest baby needs to be sent into the woods. Now the witch comes and rescues that baby and brings it to a loving family, and she's confused as to why these people keep leaving babies on the same day, but she thinks that they must be horrible, horrible people to be doing that, so she brings them to a different loving family. But in reality, the babies are being ripped from the mother's arms, and it is obviously a very sad time. You try to have your babies earlier in the year so that hopefully, God willing, that your baby is not taken from you, although that doesn't always work that way. Now, on the way through the forest, after the witch has picked up this next baby from this year, she always gives the babies starlight, which gives them an advantage, I guess. So the families that adopt them are always super excited to adopt a baby from this witch because they are good people, they have a glow to them, they are smart, they are talented, hardworking, etc. But this particular baby, she accidentally feeds moonlight, which gives them magical powers. So that, whoops, well, now I can't possibly leave you with a non-magical family. You will have to stay with me so I can teach you, turn the sound off on my phone, so I can teach you magic, basically. So as I said, it was cute, and because middle grade's not an age group that I typically read, I'm finding it hard to give it a fair review, but it was nice. Next, I finished on January 9th, so over a whole month it took me to read this was A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. And like I'm saying, I was in a really big slump / busy, so it took me that long to read this book. This is the third book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. I was trying to keep up with the read along that Common Spence was hosting, but I just fell way behind. This is a series, I'll talk about the series like as a whole from the beginning so I don't spoil anything for this book in case you haven't read them yet. There are 4 parallel Londons. You have 3 main characters. Cal, who is an Antari, who they're kind of like a blood magician, and they can travel between the different Londons, the different like worlds. You are following Delilah, who is from Grey London, which is most similar to our world, and she is a thief. She's like a street rat, but she wants nothing more than to be a pirate. And then you have Holland, who lives in White London, which is a London that's starved for magic. And Cal, I forgot to mention, is from Red London, which is flourishing with magic. Magic is everywhere. It's abundant. It makes the world a very happy place. So you're following these 3 characters mostly throughout the story. Without spoiling anything, this 4th book I gave 4 stars. I gave the other 2 5 stars. And I think that's largely to do with my mood this past month or so while reading it, the past 2 months. So I'm looking forward to rereading the whole series to give it a second chance. I didn't love it as much. It was definitely a good book, but I just find that these books are a little bit slower than what I want. All the anticipation is built up like throughout a very long time, and then fight scenes or plot twists and etc. are thrown in and over with way too quickly, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Lastly, I'm currently, where am I? As I'm filming this early. I still have 4 more days until the end of January. I'm on page 310 out of 450, so I can definitely finish this before the end of the month. So I'm just going to throw this in here. This is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. This is the 2nd book in the Montague Siblings series. The first one being The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I believe I gave that book 3.5 stars. It was, I believe, to be my first audiobook, and I need to like practice listening to audiobooks, I guess. I get too distracted. It's mostly because I have kids and I'm doing other things, but with an audiobook it continues to play or read while your kids are being mom, 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 or dropped or threw something on the floor or whatever, whereas when you're reading a book and that happens, the story is like paused because you're not physically reading it. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I decided to pick up the 2nd book in a physical form to see if I like it anymore. I have heard terrible things about this book. I didn't hear the reasons why because I didn't want to be spoiled, but I know Books with Chloe hated this, and so did Sophie from Sophisticated Books. Once I'm finished, I am going to go back and watch their full reviews of this story because I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think I'm going to end up giving it about 3 stars unless something like blows me away at the end. I think what they hate so much about it is Felicity's attitude. And while she's not my favorite person, I can tell that a lot of her attitude has to do with a lot of insecurities. And that part of it kind of like speaks to my younger self. I don't know why, but it will be like she gets in a disagreement with a friend, and then it'll be like, I want nothing more than to say I missed you so much, like I just want to be friends again, or you know, whatever. But then she actually says, well, whatever, then I'll just leave, or things like that. And that to me reads as insecurity, not that she's a bitch. Like, she is kind of a bitch, but like, I don't know. I have to watch like their reasonings behind why they hated it, but I'm not hating it. I'm not saying you need to run out and read it. I'm liking it slightly less than I liked the first one, but I didn't love the first one either. So these are YA historical fiction with tiny fantasy elements. Like the first one you have alchemy. This one there's sea dragons. But like the rest of the world is set in the 1700s and it's very like historical fiction-y vibes. Felicity wants to become a physician. She wants to be a doctor, but in the 1700s, women are only good for popping up babies, basically. She's told that if she reads as much as she does, she's going to get more stupid. There's no way anybody will listen to a female doctor, that male doctors are wonderful, and like there's a lot of that. And there is also LGBTQAP plus rep. Felicity is asexual. Her brother Monty is gay. Again, in this time period, that is not okay. There's mental health concerns brought up in this book. Like, it's a good book. It's just not my favorite. So that was my very small, very short December and January wrap up. I'm really hoping that February picks up for me. I upped my reading goal, which you'll see that video eventually, significantly for 2019, and my Goodreads thing is already telling me that I'm way behind, so I need to pick up the pace. Let me know what you read in January, and if you think that I would enjoy it, I'd love to hear from you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!